we start pretty alright, I would say. Hong is able to hold on to his first place with... Oh, I jinxed it. Wow. Yeah, so that was good. Alright everyone, hello and welcome back to another episode of Motorsport Manager with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to Milan. Now, we're out here again for one of our last races of the season. Unfortunately, the predictions have not been all too great for us. Everybody's basically thinking that we will be doing pretty bad this race, and I think that is honestly, unfortunately, kind of us included, because with a lot of development done, really, and what we thought was a lot of progress, we still seem to be at the very far back of the pack out here. And, well, currently I'm really just hoping for the next season to be a bit better for us. But with that said, regardless, I think we will give our best this very race and just see how we do. So in terms of weather predictions, I'm not 100% sure, but I think we are mostly looking at a dry race. It may be getting a little wet later, I'm not sure. But I think we're still going to go for our soft tyre bonuses for both drivers and then the race trim, of course, for the performance increase. Now, in terms of setup, it seems like we're overall pretty nicely done with that. The only thing that we do seem to need to improve on is the speed balance here for Gomez quite considerably, actually. So we will get that down to like 56% maybe. I think that may be about good. Now, we need to readjust there for handling, though. And that will kind of throw that off again. So we'll go one further. And do that? How does that do for us? I think that's pretty alright. Same values, but with better speed balance, that should be the way to go. Tyre choice then. So we've got 21 laps here. Gomez is in the car that does better, honestly, so he will most definitely only be going out on softs. And theory, we could make it a 2-stop. Well, we've only got 9 laps of fuel, so in practice we can't really. So we're going to have to make it a 3-stop as well. I think we're going to go for 8 laps for him, maybe. 8, 16 should be pretty easy. So I think that's the way to go for Gomez there. Hong, we're going to have to see. Like, in terms of balance and everything, we're good. What I'm unsure about is how long his tires last, and that's kind of the thing I thought it was going to be. 8 to 10 laps, so I mean, it's kind of going to be a bit harder. I think, well, the first stint we're going to have to go in on lap 7, or the second, maybe it's like, maybe we do 7:15 for him and hope that it lasts till the end, and then 8:16 for the other guy, basically. I think that is the way to go. Other than that, that's all the setups and everything done. I think we can continue to the race straight away, and we are, of course, going to start on the more aggressive settings, and, well, let's see how we go out here in Milan. Maybe a bit better than last time at the very least. Maybe we can at least look at a nice sponsorship objective to get a bit more money in. We will see, but for the time being, it is 5 red lights out here in Milan, and out they go. And we start pretty alright, I would say. Hong is able to hold on to his first place with... Oh, I jinxed it. Wow. Yeah, so that was good. That was great. That was us instantly losing all the spots on Hong. I don't know what he's done wrong. Maybe he's eaten something wrong or something, but he went from second spot to last spot in the first friggin' corner. Oh my god. Now we've got to stake everything on our second driver with our worst car. Currently clinging on to the second position, but that will certainly not stay that way forever, so that's honestly quite worrying. I don't know what happened to that car either, to be honest. This is a very weird and confusing race, but we will now have to hope for the best with this stuff out here at the Milan Grand Prix. Now we're going to turn down the tyre strategy a tiny bit already, make sure that they don't go up in flames for the time being. And we're definitely going to keep the engines on max strategy here for the time being also, because, well, we kind of need every little bit of speed we can get. In terms of condition, we did push our engine, well, for Liao to 100%, not for Gomez, so him being at the last spot, kind of really unfortunate, and he's actually starting to lose time as well on the rest of the field, which is, like, incredible. And, like, he was the guy we staked everything on, and he just utterly failed us, so very much not happy about that. But what do you do about that? The engine is maybe going to help him hold on a bit more, but for Gomez we're going to have to turn down the strategy, because the idea is that he lasts until the 8th lap, so we will have to adjust for that. While with Hong, you know, that engine's got so much condition that we can probably just keep him pushing a bit longer to help him hold on to the rest of the field a bit more. But Gomez now struggling as the rest of the field are slowly but surely starting to make their way through to him. Well, at least the rest of the better field, and we are going to lose a bunch of places here, I'm quite sure. Nothing we can really do about that. I mean, our main idea here, I think, is to hold on to that 13th spot. Hong, on the other hand side, did overtake one person, which is finally some result, I suppose. We are on 5.16 laps of fuel, which is honestly still alright. I think we need to keep him pushing, probably. We are going to turn down Hong into these strategies, and we're going to turn down the tyre strategy for Gomez too, because I think tyres are honestly probably my utmost concern here. But you can see how much power we're starting to lose. Now that, well, not power, but more time on, like, the faster people in the field. And I'm really not confident that Gomez can hold on to anything above the 14th spot, to be honest, because you see how everything's just starting to clog up behind him, and he is in the worst car. He isn't necessarily the worst driver. He's got less potential, but I think at this point in their career, they're honestly both at the same spot. I think we can actually push a lot more on Hong, thinking about it, because we are going to get him in the 7th lap, and he's 3.86 laps of fuel remaining, so we'll keep him pushing. We will have to really watch out for Gomez here, because he's getting close to not having enough fuel, so I think we're going to give him one more lap on this more aggressive strategy, and then we're going to have to turn it down, and at that point I think we're going to lose out. Well, actually, we're going to lose out now. That is the 13th spot. If we go any lower, we already miss our sponsorship objective, and, well, there we go. And he gets it back, but there we go again. I don't know, it's bad, it's terrible, what do I say? It's like, I was hoping that due to starting in first spot, we could somewhat just at least cling on and get something out of this race, but then Hong just goes super freaking wide in the first corner and absolutely loses us everything that we ever had in this race. Like, at this point, Gomez is just utterly getting trashed, and while Hong is kind of clinging on for dear life and totally out of fuel right now because I messed up his fuel strategy. No, he's actually not totally out of fuel. He's just going to go to high. He's going to come in this lap so he can push the rest of the bits out of this tyre. And, well, Gomez is pretty much spot on for this strategy, so at least no mess-ups right there, but that's honestly not going to do anything for us, given what we've got going on right here, to be honest. Like, I mean, sure, with, like, strategies max and everything, you can see that Hong is actually somehow holding on and catching up and overtaking Gomez in a second, but, yeah, it's really not great. Now, Hong, we're going to get him in, and give him a new set of softs. We're going to fill up the car totally, because, like, the engine's got a huge ton of condition behind it, and we're going to make it fast, and just hope for a miracle. Let's just hope for a miracle right here. And Andre now in his last lap 2. I think we're going to go to high here. We're going to definitely get to attack on his tyres, and then he can push all the way through as well. Hong being in the pit lane here, getting all the new stuff, looking good and everything. We've got... It went up to 10 laps of fuel for some reason. We did have a mistake, unfortunately. That's a bit annoying, but we will push all the way through. Now this time, the tyres will have to hold on for 8 laps, so we'll have to quickly actually tune down the tyre strategy on him. Gomez, on the other hand side, currently in 10th spot, but that's only because like half the field went into the pits already. We're going to get him back in. I'm going to fill him up totally as well. We're going to go and... I think we're going to have to stake it all on the fast pit strategy today, try and overtake people there, try and get some time somehow, because other than that, like, our performance on the track is just utterly atrocious right now, and I think the pit crew is like the only thing that can really save the day for us, and we've got a mistake there already, so beautiful. But Hong is actually coming in and starting to overtake here a bit of the field. We are in 15th spot with him, so that's actually pretty good news. I'm going to take his tyres down to neutral now. He's got to make 8 laps as well, so we're going to have to tune down the engine too. But we made it up into 15th spot, so that is at least something. We'll just hope that works. We're going to keep Gomez in the more aggressive strategy for one lap here too. And Hong actually going on to get 14th spot, and now we've got an issue. Oh my god. I did not see the weather forecast. Okay, so everybody's on inters now, and that is indeed a bit of an issue because there is a lot of rain coming, and we are going to lose a lot of time here in a second. That kind of explains why we gained that much time on the rest of the field here. Now, for the time being, with the track conditions, I think we're still going to be faster than the rest of the field for another lap or two, but that is eventually going to fall off. So, we're going to have to pull them back in. We're going to just push the max out of these cars now, just get whatever spot and whatever bit of time we can get. But as you can see, I think the hope for actual blue tire weather is not really justified, as the weather is going to fall off there in just a minute. So I'm going to keep them out for one more lap. I'm just going to hope that they somehow hold on like that. It's not looking good. That is a mess up. That's a pretty big mess up, to be honest. The thing is, everybody else on Inters is starting to degrade their tires now. So the question is kind of, how is the weather going to develop? And if the weather is going to get totally dry till the end of the race, that could be an issue. Now, both of these guys need to actually come in now. In theory, we could try and push all the way through to the end with the Inters and hope that by everybody else having to go to the pits again, because you saw the conditions, like all the Inters were already halfway done for people. Just hope that due to the conditions we can somehow make it, but that would mean that we have to go low fuel all race. So we'll see about that. That's really the only way we can go right here, and that is the way we will go. They also have to both come in the same lap, because otherwise they're going to lose more time than just stacking up in the box. So, yeah. Did that one a bit too fast, unfortunately. I really didn't notice the strategy change of the AI to Inters, and I did not notice what was going on right here. So, we are coming in right now. And we will go Inters, and we'll just have to hope that somehow this works out for us. Now, this is going to be a crucial one, but yeah, you can see Gomez is having to wait, which is just the way that it is here, unfortunately. Now, Hong, he's going to have to go to conserve tires. He's going to have to go to low fuel strategy, and then somehow we're just going to hope that he makes it all the way through to the end. Same thing for Andre. And that's going to be the next 10 laps just going like this. And I'm honestly kind of worried that once the track actually goes super dry again, we'll just chew through the Inters so much that we will not be able to hold on to them in terms of condition. But, like, that's kind of something that remains to be seen. There's two guys that actually, well, one dropped out totally due to crash. Another actually had some issues with the car condition, apparently. So that gave us another 2 spots. That gets us back up into 17th spot. And a very, very messy rain race, and look at that. My prayers have been answered. The rain is going to pick up again later on. So if we can somehow make it to the very end here with these low amounts of fuel, which I'm kind of currently doubting, but if we can make that, we could actually get somewhere in this race. So let's see about that. The tyres are getting a bit cold, which could be an issue in terms of tyre conditions. So I'm going to get them up to neutral again so they can hopefully get a bit better temps into those intermediates. And God, look at that rain. Last lap of the race is going to be super messy. I'm really interested to see what the AIs are going to do here in terms of tyre strategy. But I'm really more interested to see if we can even somehow make it. Our engines should be somewhat fuel conserving, but if we can get another like 2 laps out of them over the course of 9 laps, I'm kind of doubting it. Like, Hong is on the start finish line now. We've got fuel for another 6 laps, which means that... Wait. That is actually just what we need, isn't it? We are on the 16th lap. We didn't get lapped yet. So we go 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I think that could be doable. He's got fuel for another 5.5 laps. Right? He needs fuel for 6. So given that we always get a bit on top each lap, that we go with this low fuel strategy, that could actually end up working out for us, which would be cool. Now the tyre temperature is still very much not being satisfactory. I'm going to push up the tyre strategy a bit, because I want them to get some heat into those tyres. That is pretty bad, honestly. Look at this. We're not even getting any tyre temperatures in, which is kind of weird, but there we go. It's slowly starting to rise again, so hopefully that's going to be good. Now, a lot of people have actually already swapped to Inters, and we're still behind everyone, which is kind of annoying, honestly. I mean, the low fuel strategy probably messing us up here, but we are in 14th spot, which we're only going to hold on to for like 2 seconds, apparently. It's annoying. I mean, the thing is, right, we just need to tune up that engine strategy a bit, but I'm kind of worried that tuning up that engine strategy a bit is going to be just what costs us the actual possibility of getting in there, and we actually need to get into 13th, not 14th spot, so that's also an added issue. Now, in terms of where we're at in the race, we are here. 2.9 laps. I think if we go to medium, we should be able to finish it like that, to be honest. So we're going to go back to medium. We're going to hope that that does something for us. I think... No, these guys are not going to go into the pits again. I mean, they've kind of got the same strategy as me, and I don't really see any way of actually getting this finished. Like, we can push the tyres now pretty hard, because I think, well, 2 laps, I mean, they're going to last across, like, over 2 laps. But unless, like, 2 people crash, there's not going to be a way that we make the sponsorship objective. Especially now with the rain just starting to go in like crazy. Everyone's times are going to fall off. Oh, that's number 1. That's number 1. One guy just retired. Come on. We just need one more. One more. Please. Somebody just, like, explode your engine. Come on. That's our spot. This. Oh, God. Dude. Like, we've got one more lap, apparently, to go. But we can't push any more fuel into it or anything. Like, there is just, like, we're so close, yet so far to our objective right now. That is so disheartening. And I don't think we're going to push past anyone anymore. Everybody's making it across the finish line. And after a super, super messy race, which honestly was quite short compared to what I expected, but after a super messy race, we miss our objective by 1 spot. Absolutely annoying and sad and disheartening, but that is just what it is. I don't even know what went on this race. It all went super quickly, and it all was super, super messy as well. From, like, the start of Hong just going wide and losing out on, like, 20 spotters once, to me nearly missing the strategy, then it actually turning out to be beneficial for us, and us then being denied our goal by 1 spot. Absolutely sad and disheartening, and I honestly think, had it not been for that initial mistake of Hong with us losing 20 spots at once, that could have honestly been the last bit of time we needed there for that last little spot for those 200k this race. It's annoying, but we'll have to move on from it. I'm kind of a bit sad about it, I think, understandably, but that is going to be the way that race was then. And well, I don't know, you know, you could call it an improvement from last race, but I think it was honestly just due to a lucky mistake from my side in terms of strategy. So probably not that, and I don't know. We'll have to see. I think there's like 1 or 2 more races this season, so let's move on to that. See how that plays out for us. See where we get in terms of that. It's like well, we can't do anything about it, unfortunately. There has been a penalty right here, 2 places only though, and I think that is already the final standing, so didn't push us up into 13th spot there, unfortunately, and we're not going to get the 200 grand from it, but well, that is how we are going to be moving on then. People are still happy about my performance somehow, which is kind of crazy, but that's been it for the Milan race, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know. That's just going to be the result. We're going to stick with that. Now, we will be loading into the main lobby again for some more management parts. See where we move, see where we develop the cars. Like, we've still got a lot of parts to improve on the cars. Like, I think there are still some tasks ahead in terms of that. And other than that, we'll see. Andre's morale at least went up by 13.91%, which is quite nice. And we got some improvements on Hong's side too, which is also quite nice. And hopefully the more he improves, the less he will be making those kinds of mistakes. And mechanic relationship is also going up, which is great to hear. But yeah, marketability actually went up slightly, which is kind of nice. Expected result 10th, you came 9th. Oh, and overall team results. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. At least that's something good to take away from the race, I suppose. But you can say that money just draining down to $3 million now. Isn't quite worrying because, you know, we're nearing the end of the season. We're going to get the season bonus and, like, money from our main sponsor again as well once the season ends. So that's going to be totally fine. But nonetheless, the more we have, the better. We've got fatigue pit crew, though, which is something worrying to look at in a minute. And, well, car condition upgrade we don't care about. We will reject that interview because I suspect they may be willing to talk about, like, some mistakes from our drivers or something. I don't want to say anything negative about that and dishearten them or something. We got to manage our pit crew pretty much now. So we've got this guy right here, and he needs swapping out now. I'm kind of thinking who I will swap him out with. I think maybe this guy here should be good enough. That way he's at least good again in terms of condition, well, in terms of stamina, rather. We've got the rear jack and the front jack guys right here. Is this the rear jack guy? Yeah. So we've got the rear jack lad right here. He's a bit exhausted. And we've got the front jack up there, which is also quite exhausted, I think. No, this person's honestly tires and fixing. We've got this guy right here, which seems to be one of our rear jack persons, so we'll swap those in. Then we've got the front jack person, which, looking at this, I think is this person right here. So we'll swap those in. That's going to get the overall stamina of the pit crew up a bit. Some people can relax again. We've got a tires refuel person here that's also a bit exhausted, but I don't think I really have a replacement for him, which is kind of annoying. Maybe we can find one right here. It does not look like it though. Like, everybody's all, like, these are all more front jack people than anything. That's just rear jack people, and that guy here is, like, also just jacks. Like, there's nobody that can actually do tires plus refuel or fixing well, which is kind of annoying. But then again, we don't really have that much money to spend on this kind of stuff anyways. Now, we've got slot 1 here empty for our race bonus sponsor now, and we've got slot 6 for the fixed payment sponsor empty, which could be good, because as we said before, we've got level 3 marketability now, so I would very much actually like to look into that. But with that said, I'm going to have to wait for offers there. So let's actually look at the car real quick, see what we've got queued there in terms of part improvement. We can't because we're still fixing it. And we will do that now, and then we'll kind of move on from that. So, in terms of part improvement then, we are currently working on the brakes. Apparently we've got the next thing in the Black Sea, well, the Black Sea Grand Prix in Russia, which I guess is kind of similar to Sochi then in this game. We've got acceleration, high-speed corners, we can't do anything about it, and top speed. Now, the engine, we've kind of got maxed on Hong's car anyways. In terms of acceleration, we've got this gearbox right here that we're still not using, and that I'll actually really like to put into Andre's car for the next race. So I think let's work on some reliability, get that above 80%, and then just push that performance to the max. I think that is honestly kind of the way to go, because everything on Hong's car really is pretty maxed out. Like, not really much left to do there. So we'll do this. We'll move on like that. We've got a few sponsorship objectives, but not all of them. Like, we should have 3 for every slot eventually, I think. So we're going to wait for some more to come in. And we're going to check in here again. So we've got 2 and 2 at the moment. We've got 2 level 2 sponsors, which I don't really quite like. I would like a level 3 sponsor for my fixed slot. I've got 1 level 2, 1 level 1. So we're going to wait a bit longer, see what rolls in. Got some scouting reports finished. I really don't feel like hopping back in there right now. Parts actually improving very nicely here. 72% now. I think that should leave us, no, still 72%. We've got some more sponsorship offers, which is great. We've got 3 offers here now. That's a level 3 sponsor, but it's just an upfront payment of 4 million for 12 races, which is honestly not really much. Like, this is a fixed pay per race of 400k for a deal length of 10 races. That's way better. That's just way better. I mean, yeah, sure, like, money really matters to us right now, but I would really like to think in the long run still, and I think for the long run, Ravelli here is still the better offer, despite it just being level 2, so we'll accept that for now. In terms of race bonus sponsors, we've not got any level 3 sponsors. That's kind of annoying, honestly. I want a level 3 sponsor, but I think 3 is kind of the max that we can get, so unless we want to wait for 2 races and just keep that slot open, which I really don't, we've got to pick one of these, and like kind of the higher upfront payment really is what matters to me. This deal length here is 10 races though, while this one is only 4, and well, I mean, 800k being pretty decent. This again, 16th or above, also pretty decent, to be honest, in terms of like achievability, you know, like, but it's only 75k. I mean, say we can reliably hit this, right? If I was to do this thing for 800k for 4 races over the same duration from this deal, I only get 400k if you kind of count this per race, right? So 400k plus 75k per race, I would make less on this deal regardless compared to this one, even if I don't make this bonus payment once. So we're going to go for this one, and we're going to get 800k, and if we ever get above 10th, that's going to be great. So that's going to be our 2 new sponsors, 800k in the bank right there, and I think a pretty decent fixed payment as well now. Actually still the same that we used to have, apparently. No, I think we are slightly making more now. I think we were making 350k, now we're making 400 or something, so not really the craziest change, unfortunately, but still a slight bit of an improvement. Now, what I need to actually check here is going to be our car. We are going to continue that for another day or 2. Then we're going to be at 84%, and then we're going to go switch to performance. But with that said, I think I'm going to have to end it off right here because the time for the episode is already very much come to an end. We're going to continue with those performance improvement and move on to the Sochi Grand Prix in the next episode. For today, though, this has been it. I hope you all enjoyed the episode as usual. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way, as always, everyone, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.